There's a house in every town that nobody talks about. Not because it's haunted. Not because something terrible happened there. But because it feels wrong. Like it's watching you. In a small corner of Nebraska, there was a house like that. A place where the windows didn't just reflect the world, they held it. And once you looked too long, you were part of it. This is the story of the Lanning family. And what they found in the glass. Stay with me. Because after you hear this, you'll never trust a window again. It was 1897. Red Willow County, Nebraska. Flat land and the sky, the kind of place where you could see a storm coming from miles away. The Lannings were new to the area. John and Clara, both in their 30s, and their daughter, Abigail, just shy of 10. They'd come from Ohio, chasing a dream of open land and a fresh start. John was a carpenter, good with his hands. Clara was a schoolteacher, sharp and quiet. Abigail was curious, always asking questions, always wondering. They bought a plot just outside the town of McCook, built a modest house with a wraparound porch. Nothing fancy, but it had windows. Big ones. More than most houses out there. John was proud of them. Said they let the light in, made the place feel alive. The windows were Clara's idea. She'd seen them in a catalog, special order from a glassworks back east. Thick, heavy panes, faintly green, with a strange clarity. They weren't cheap, but Clara insisted. She said they'd make the house feel bigger. Like the prairie was part of it. John didn't argue. He loved her too much for that. So the windows went up, 6 of them, catching the sun in a way that made the house glow. Neighbors noticed. Said it was the prettiest house for miles. But they didn't linger when they visited. Didn't say why. Just left a little quicker than they came. At first, everything was fine. The Lannings settled in. John took work in town, building barns and fixing wagons. Clara started teaching at the schoolhouse, winning over the kids with her patience. Abigail explored the fields, collecting stones and chasing jackrabbits. But after a few months, things started to shift. It was small at first. Clara noticed it. The windows didn't feel right. Not the glass itself, but the way it held the world. She'd catch her reflection sometimes, and it didn't move quite like it should. Like it was a half-second behind. She didn't tell John. Didn't want to sound foolish. But she stopped looking at the windows when she passed them. Abigail was different. She loved the windows. Spent hours staring out of them, her nose pressed to the glass. She'd talk about what she saw. Not the fields or the sky, but other things. Shadows that moved when nothing else did. A face, sometimes, faint and far away. Clara thought it was a child's imagination. John laughed it off, said Abigail had a storyteller's heart. But Clara started watching her daughter closer. Abigail wasn't just daydreaming. She was listening, like the glass was whispering to her. By the spring of 1898, the house felt heavy. Not the structure, the air, the silence. John started waking up at night hearing things. A low hum, like a tuning fork, coming from nowhere. He'd check the house, find nothing. Clara stopped sleeping altogether. She'd sit in the kitchen, staring at the floor, avoiding the windows. She told John she felt watched. Not by someone outside, by the house itself. He didn't know what to say. He loved her, but he didn't believe her. Not yet. Then Abigail started drawing. She'd always liked to sketch, flowers, horses, the hills. But now it was different. Her drawings were of people. Not her family. Not anyone they knew. Men and women, old and young, their faces strange, their eyes too big. She said they were in the glass. Clara burned the drawings when Abigail wasn't looking. But they kept coming. New ones every day. And Abigail was changing. She was quieter. Distant. She'd stand at the windows for hours, not moving, her breath fogging the panes. Once, Clara caught her whispering. Not to herself. To the glass. The words weren't clear, but they weren't English. They weren't anything Clara had ever heard. John finally saw it one night in June. He'd been out late, fixing a neighbor's fence. Came home after midnight, the house dark. He stepped onto the porch, and there was Abigail, standing at the big window in the parlor. Not outside looking in, inside looking out. But her reflection. It wasn't right. It was her, but older, taller. Her face was wrong, twisted, like she was smiling too wide. John blinked, and it was gone. Just Abigail, staring at him, her eyes blank. He didn't sleep that night. Didn't tell Clara. But he started watching the windows too. The next week, Clara broke. She couldn't take it anymore. The humming. The reflections. The way Abigail wasn't her daughter anymore. She begged John to leave, to sell the house and go back to Ohio. He didn't want to. He'd put everything into that house. But he saw the fear in her eyes. Saw Abigail, sitting at the window, whispering to nothing. He agreed. They'd leave by the end of the month. But the house, it wasn't done with them. On July 3, 1898, something happened. Nobody in town knew what, not exactly. The Lannings didn't show up for the Independence Day picnic. Neighbors thought they'd left early, maybe caught a train east. But their things were still in the house. Clothes, tools, Clara's books. All there. The only thing missing was the family. And the windows. Not the frames. The glass. Every pane was gone. Not shattered, not broken. Just gone. Like they'd never been there. The neighbors searched the house, the fields, the creek. Nothing. No tracks, no signs. Just an empty house with holes where the windows should have been. The town tried to make sense of it. Some said the Lannings ran off, maybe in debt. Others said it was a twister, though the sky had been clear for days. A few, the older ones, didn't say anything. They just stayed away from the house. Didn't even look at it. By 1900, the place was abandoned. Nobody wanted it. Nobody could stand to be inside it. The air was too still, too thick. And at night, people swore they heard it. A hum, low and steady, coming from the empty frames. But that's not the end. Because the house is still there. Or what's left of it. Sagging, weathered, half collapsed. The windows are still empty, just wooden frames staring out like eyes. People in the cook don't talk about it. Not anymore. But sometimes, kids dare each other to go out there. To stand on the porch. To look inside. Most don't make it that far. They say it feels wrong. Like the house is waiting. A few, the brave ones, say they see things. Not in the windows, there's no glass left. In the air. Shapes. Faces. Moving just out of sight. Nobody knows what happened to the Lannings. No bodies, no letters, no trace. But there's a story, one the old-timers used to whisper. They said the glass wasn't just glass. It was something else. Something that held more than light. Something that saw you. And once it did, it didn't let go. They said the Lannings didn't leave. They were taken. Not by someone. By the house. By the windows. By whatever lived in the glass. I don't know if that's true. I don't know what John and Clara and Abigail saw in those panes. But I know this. If you're ever in Nebraska, driving through Red Willow County, and you see a house with no windows, don't stop. Don't look too long. Because some things don't just reflect the world. They keep it. And sometimes they want you to stay.